Hey, welcome back to my channel, Shaun Stevenson Books. I'm Shaun Stevenson, author of the Throne series, and this is my weekly update for February 12th, 2024. So, this has been a fun week of book reading. I have had a great time reading some great books this past week, and I cannot wait to talk about them. Of course, the Super Bowl has just finished, so a lot of time was taken up watching some of the Super Bowl. I didn't watch all of it, but I did watch the final moments when Kansas City won, so that was kind of exciting. So as far as books go, like I said, I had a great week of reading and I had just so much fun. So I cannot wait to talk to you about this. So for last week's videos, I did a few different reviews of different books and I had my Nintendo Books shelf tour. I still have all my Nintendo stuff up on the shelves behind me right now. Some just fun little things that I've collected over the years, but I really had a great time filming that Nintendo Bookshelf tour. If you haven't watched that yet, go check it out. Pretty much I went through all the different Nintendo and video game related books that I own, from Legend of Zelda to Super Mario, Nintendo Adventure books, which are choose your own adventure Mario books, which just blows my mind that that was ever a thing, but I love those books, as well as my Kingdom Hearts manga and my Legend of Zelda manga. So go check out that video for sure and see all the different Nintendo and video game related books that I own. That was a lot of fun to film. I had a great time with that. I love Nintendo. It's just great nostalgia for me. So, you know, it's wonderful. I also filmed my Goosebumps Book 22 Ghost Beach review, which on just further retrospect on that book, I still hold by what I said. It just was not my favorite, and I know so many people love that book, but I just did not connect with it. So I feel really bad about that. I'm sad that it's one of so many people's favorites, but for me, it just wasn't. But it's okay. I also filmed one of my contenders for my favorite book of the year review, and that was on Fear Street number 8, Halloween Party. That book is definitely near the top of my list. It's going to probably land on my top 10 list for the year, for 2024, I think. I'm going to probably read a lot more books, though, so we'll see where it ends up. But I really enjoyed that book. And there are a few things, though, that I have thought about in retrospect. So I've been thinking about doing a Let's Discuss video on Halloween Party, because there are some pieces to the ending I was discussing with my brother that I thought, wait a minute. Like, why did this happen? And why did that happen? And why was that allowed, but that wasn't allowed? So I kind of want to do a Let's Discuss video about it. So we'll see if I can get to that this week. I have so many videos waiting to go up. It's blowing my mind a little bit. So I also did a review of the first Eerie, Indiana book, which, yes, as I was saying in that review, the Eerie, Indiana book series is not based on episodes of the TV show. So my brother did a little bit of research on it after the video, and he told me that basically what happened was the show only had one season, and then there was a spin-off show, and the first season of the show went into reruns and became super popular. So the creators of the show decided, well, let's create something based off this IP, so let's make a book series, because Goosebumps is really hot. A lot of people really love those kind of books, so let's do a whole book series. So they are brand new stories from the world of Eerie, Indiana. So that was really awesome. I was excited about that they were new stories and not just rehashes of episodes. So that first book, Return to Foreverwhere, is really a sequel to the Foreverwhere episode of Eerie, Indiana. And if you're wondering, what is Eerie, Indiana? It is a wonderful 90s television show that starred Omri Katz, I believe. Now I'm going to check. To the IMDb. I'll be right back. Yes, so it stars Omri Katz from Hocus Pocus as the main character, Marshall Teller. So definitely, if you haven't checked out that show and you love Goosebumps type stuff or Twilight Zone kind of things, go check out Eerie, Indiana. It's a lot of fun. And then I also put up on Super Bowl Sunday my review of the first book in the Doomsday Archives, The Wandering Hour, by Zach Loren Clark and Nick Eliopoulos. And like I said in that review, that book scared me. Like, legit actually scared me. It was hard to sleep afterwards. So definitely go into that one knowing that it is a scary book. That is for sure. So as far as last week's reads, like I said, I had a great week of book reading. I did read the Doomsday Archives Book 1, The Wandering Hour by Zach Loren Clark and Nick Eliopoulos. And this was a fun book, like I said, but a scary book. So if you are a parent wondering if this is a great one for your kid, definitely check it out first and see what you think, because it might be a little scary. And if you have a kid who gets a little scared by stuff, then this is not the book for them, because this was a legit creepy book. I think it's best for like upper middle grade and up because of how creepy it was. So, but this was a lot of fun. I had a great time reading this book. And then, like I said, I also read Fear Street number 8, Halloween Party. So one really interesting thing about this book is I also have the updated version of it. And as my brother and I were talking about this, we realized that there is a scene in the middle where they are dancing to some music and there's part of the lyrics quoted, and the lyrics are different in this book from this book. So this one has more of a 90s song and this one has more of a 2000 song. So I was really fascinated by that, and I thought, wait, are there other things that have been updated in like these updated covers and things from the old time ones? I'm super curious how much has been changed for these different editions. So that was a really interesting thing to me. But this book was so much fun. I had a great time reading it. It was just a good mystery, a good murder mystery in a creepy setting set at Halloween time. A lot of fun for sure. And then I also did read Eerie, Indiana, Book 1, Return to Foreverwhere. This book was so funny and so just random. I didn't love it. I liked it. I thought it was a good one, but it was not my absolute favorite. And then, oh boy, I can't wait for my review on this book. And I might do a Let's Discuss video about it this week, because I read book number 2 in Monsterious, The Snatcher of Raven Hollow by Matt McMahon. And this book, this was a legitly creepy book. And the twist ending, oh, I was reading it, and as I read it, I said at the very end, I said, that is how it ends. And I gasped out loud. And my wife thought something was wrong, and she said, Shaun, are you okay? And I said, yes, I just finished reading this Monsterious book, and it has a really creepy twist ending. I'm not going to give it away because it was so creepy. And this book has a couple of scenes in it where Matt McMahon just sets you up so well to be scared by what is happening, and it's just masterful. I loved this book. It was so good, and I have a lot to say about it, so I will definitely be doing a review on it this week. But then on to another book that I did not enjoy so much. This one was such a disappointment, actually. I read Heebie-Jeebies number 6, Wild Ride on Bigfoot Mountain. Okay, I was really disappointed in this one. The other Heebie-Jeebies book, first of all, Heebie-Jeebies is a Goosebumps ripoff series that's a Christian series. And the other books in this series so far have actually been pretty good. They are not as creepy as like a Goosebumps, or definitely not as intense as a Ghost of... Well, I take that back. The Ice Cream Truck actually is pretty intense. And so is Welcome to Camp Creeps. There are some really intense, suspenseful moments in these books. And there's legitimate danger usually. This book, I was so disappointed. First of all, you promised me Bigfoot. And as a person who lived in the Pacific Northwest, surrounded by Bigfoot legends, I am a Bigfoot fan. So I really was disappointed with the way that Bigfoot was handled in this book, and I will definitely have a lot to say about this in my review coming up this week, because it just was so disappointing. I just had much higher hopes for it. I will admit I read it through really fast. Like, I read this in one sitting because I couldn't stop reading. But I just really was disappointed. That's the best word I have for this book, is disappointed. So, oh well, that's one clunker out of the 6 that I've read so far. So the other 5 were all actually pretty good. So I don't know. I'm a little nervous now about the rest of the series because I thought, uh-oh, did they run out of juice after book 5? Was that kind of it? And then they kind of were running out of ideas? We'll see. I'm going to read the rest of the series still, but that was kind of disappointing. So as far as my book stats so far for 2024, so now it's February 12th, 2024, and my book stats are I have read 4,041 pages so far this year, which I'm really glad about how many pages I've read so far. Last year, I read total about 11,000 pages, so I feel like I'm on a really good track so far this year. I'm really excited about the progress that I'm making with the reading. I also have read 17 different authors so far this year out of 21 books. So I really like that too. I like reading a good variety of authors. I think it's a lot of fun. However, one of those authors is much higher than all the others in the amount of books I have read by them. And so far, the number one author I have read this year is R.L. Stine. I have read 4 books by R.L. Stine this year so far. The runners-up are Matt McMahon. I've read 2 books by him and 2 books by Fred E. Katz, which I won't be reading any more books by Fred E. Katz because I've finished the Spine Chillers series. So I will be reading, though, the rest of Matt McMahon's books because I have his other 2 books in the Monsteria series, and I will read his 5th book when it comes out in August. So that'll definitely get him up to 5 for sure this year, but we'll see. I'm probably going to read a lot more R.L. Stine, though, so this might be the year of R.L. Stine still. So as far as this week's mood, I gotta say, last week I was really into a small town spooky stories mood, and pretty much every book I read was a small town spooky story book. And I really enjoyed going on that theme. This week is going to be random. I don't really have a current mood, so I am probably just going to be searching the shelves to see what I'm going to find. My next read is going to be the Percy Jackson and the Olympians book number 6, The Chalice of the Gods by Rick Riordan. So this is my next read, so I am excited to read this one. Zach from Shadyside Library said, you got to read it. It's really good. It was one of Shadyside Library's favorite books last year, so definitely got to be on my list. So I'm excited to read this one. And this one's a mythology book, but I'm not exactly in a mythology mood. Like, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'll read a bunch more mythology books. I want to read this one because I'm in it for the adventure. So I don't know if I'm just in an adventure mood. Undecided. We'll see what books I end up reading this week. I have kind of a busy week coming up, so we'll see how many books I actually get to read. It might be a little bit of a light reading week, but we'll see. The other book that I actually am reading right now, I am a children's pastor, so I like to read a lot of different things about children's ministries. So one book I'm reading right now is called The Faith of Our Children by Matt Markins. I'm only a tiny bit into this book, 19 pages or so, and it's kind of like a research study that was done on children and religious faith. So we'll see how it turns out. I think it'll be interesting to read. So far, some of the statistics have been interesting to see, so I've been enjoying that so far. As for this week's coming videos, like I said, I am going to be reviewing Mysterious, book number 2, The Snatcher of Raven Hollow. I am also going to be reviewing Heebie-Jeebies, number 6, Wild Ride on Bigfoot Mountain, because that book, I have a lot to say about it, like I said. And I am going to get to my The Boy Next Door Fear Street book review, because I still have a lot to say. I have had some trouble thinking it through, like what I want to exactly say about that one. So I've been putting it off a little bit, but I am going to record it this week and hopefully get it up this very week. We'll see. Also, I really need to review the Give Yourself Goosebumps Scream of the Evil Genie, because I need to delete my notes off my phone from that, of all the different endings and all the different paths you can take, because I took notes on all the things. So I wanted to wait to delete that until after I did my review on it. So that should be this week. We'll see though. And then 2 other videos I have coming up this week is my birthday was actually last month. And so I have a birthday book haul from all the books that I got for my birthday. So I want to show you all of those books and There are a lot of fun ones in there. There's some Fear Street, some R.L. Stine, some Accidental Detectives, which is an old 90s and 80s, I think, book series by Sigmund Bauer. So that'll be a lot of fun to talk about. So I can't wait to show you all of those, as well as a Choose Your Own Adventure book that I was really excited about. So I'm going to have that video coming up this week, as well as I recorded a Reader Red Flags book tag video. It's my first book tag video, and that will be coming up on Tag Tuesday, this Tuesday. So I was laughing as I went through it because I had a lot of funny book reader red flags. We'll see. You'll see when you see that video, my red flags. But that is all for now. I'm excited for this reading week coming up. I'm excited to read the Percy Jackson book. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting to read this book. So I'm excited to get to it. I had, just like I said, a really good reading week last week. So that's all for now. So until next time, everybody, keep reading. Bye.